Today we're going to be talking about why are my budgets not pulling into my financial reports? Could be several reasons for that. And so we're just going to quickly go over what could be the problem. So first, I'm going to go to budgets because I just want to review what we're talking about when we're talking about budgets. Most companies have an annual budget set up, which is just going to be, your P&L budget. So any of your income statement, GL accounts, and the budget for those. And then we've got contract budgets. So these are your contract original, approved, pending, and revisions. These are pretty standard out of the box budgets. And this is for your contracts. And the other one is project estimates. So obviously that is the estimates on your projects, but we're calling it a budget. So when you add a budget, you have to tell it, you either leave these blank, so it's just going to be a regular, P&L budget, or you're going to tell it it's either a project estimate budget or a project contract budget, if for some reason you have to set up new ones. Okay, so that was just a quick refresher on what budgets are and where they're located. I do want to look this annual budget. Let's just look at these budget details. Most companies are going to use this annual budget and they're going to put every year's budget in the annual budget. I have seen some companies that prefer to create like a 2026 annual budget, 2025 annual budget. And so they'll have several budgets in here for each year. I would say that's personal preference. I would say that's a personal preference thing. I personally would probably just use one budget. That way I'm not having to go in and adjust my reports to make sure that I'm pulling the correct budget into it. But to each his own, however you want to do that. So let's just look at the budget details right here. So this is our, an example of a budget, annual budget. If you go in there, you can see there's, a couple years worth of, 2022 and 2023, some budget items for that account. Okay, so that is the annual budget. So let's go over to financial reports. I'm going to go to reports, financial reports. Okay, so one of the common things that I see is people asking why in this profit and loss actual versus budget report, when they run it, why is it not populating the budget? So we are just going to run it real quick and take a look at it. They'll have zeros in this budget column and they're not too sure why. So there's a few reasons that could be. We're going to go and edit that report and see what information we're pulling. So if we go into the column section here in this report, you've got your actual column and then you've got your budget column. So you know it's a budget because the column type is budget. And then it wants you to select what budget do you want to show on this report. And so for this example, we had Entity 1 budget. Well, I don't have any records in Entity 1 budget, so I had accidentally selected the wrong one. So I just need to change that to annual budget so I know that it's going to pull the correct budget. So that's really, for this report, that's usually the biggest issue, is you just haven't selected the correct budget to show on this report. And so that's an easy fix. And that's all you have to do to fix that. I'm going to cancel out of that. Okay. The other two budget items, contract and estimates. If you don't have this report, it's called work in progress. If you don't have that in your instance and you see it here and you like it, let us know. Send us a ticket and we'll put it in your instance. It's a pretty cool report and it's easy to build. But this is, your rows are your active projects over here. And then you've got your contract budget here. That's your original budget. This is your approved change orders. And then this is, these two columns added together to get you your revised contract. And then you've got your project estimates over here. So these these two columns and then the project estimates, these are budget columns. The rest are, we've got some calculations and job to date billings and job to date costs over here. So you can see these top two projects here. They don't have anything in the contract budgets or in the project estimate budgets. Well, why is that? Because I know that I have those in the system. So why are they not pulling into this report? Well, it could be a few different things. The first place that I would look is going to the project contract itself. So this is Quick Bowls. We're going to go to, actually, let me duplicate this. We're going to go to projects and project contracts. And I already forgot what that was, 22. Okay, Quick Bowls. So we're going to edit this and just see. I have a feeling that this is usually the issue. Maybe. Did I hit edit? Yep. Okay. So when you're setting up a project contract, one important piece is to make sure that it's integrated with the GL. So it's kind of a hidden little tab here, but if you expand it, this controls whether or not that contract budget is posted to those financial reports. And so you can do this after you've set up the contract, a year after you've set it up, it doesn't matter. You can turn it on and turn it off. It just basically is saying you want this to flow to the financial reports. So you just do post, click on post to GL budgets. And then we usually set up these four. It's kind of a one-to-one relationship. So your original is going to be your original, revision is revisions, approved is approved, pending is pending. And then we always select period of each project contract line entry effective date. That way, if you have change orders that are affecting your contract budget, you'll want to have an effective date on those. So once we hit save, we're going to go back to this report. I'm going to rerun it. Okay, and now the contract is now pulling in, which is great. That's what we wanted to see. The other reason that these numbers could possibly be zero are actually in the report. So we're going to go back to that report. I think I lost it. Yeah. Work in progress. We're going to edit this report, go to the column section, and we're going to look at these two, these contract original, contract approved. So one area to look at is to see what reporting period are you reporting on. If this is contracts or estimates, you're going to want to make sure that you're doing inception to current month. You just want to get basically of all time. You know, you don't want to miss any budget items. So we just use inception to current month. And I will say, when you're working with budgets in financial reports, it's pretty important to use some reporting period that ends with current month. You do not want to use inception. Let me see if I can pull that up. You don't want to use inception to date. You want to use inception to current month. If you do inception to date, and let's say you run the report middle of the month, so July 15th, the system is going to prorate possibly a July. If you have any entries in July, it's going to prorate that budget for just the first 15 days of the month. And that's not usually what you want to see. You don't want to see your budget prorated like that. So you're going to want it to say inception to current month. So that's one reason you might not be pulling in the budget for your contract. So check your reporting period. And then the second reason is going to be your account group is wrong. So where are your billings being posted? What GL account are they being posted? And is that GL account in this account group? So typically we're using revenue sales account group to represent any revenue from our sales. We're going to go to duplicate. We're going to go to reports, setup, and account groups. And we're going to look for that revenue sales account group because I just want to see what is made up of that revenue sales. So here it is. And if you click on this hierarchy link, this is a cool little feature. It's going to show you all the accounts that make up that category. So this is revenue sales. And typically we see construction income being the GL account that's being used to post to when you have billing invoices. So this is right. But I would check to make sure that whatever account group is represented on your report is the actual account group that your sales are falling into. Okay, so those are really the reasons for contracts not pulling in. And then we'll talk about estimates. It's basically the same thing. Same thing regarding the reporting period. You're going to want to use inception to current month. Same thing with the account group. Usually it's cost of sales revenue, but again, you want to check to make sure that whatever GL account your cost estimates are going, that it's represented in this account group, just like we did with the revenue sales. And then we're going to go to projects and project estimates. Same thing as the contracts. We have to make sure that these estimates are integrated with the GL. So quick bowls, we're going to edit. And this integrate with GL. Again, see that's not activated. So we want to activate posting to GL budgets. Again, you can do this at any point in time. Doesn't matter if you already have budgets set up. And then you're going to want to choose the project estimates. And we always select period of each estimate entry effective date. Same reason as we did that for contracts. So once you save that, if I can figure out where I'm at, you can see here we've got the project estimates. And I don't think I can preview it from there. So we're going to refilter this. We've got zeros here, but now that we have updated that, we should be good. Yep. That's pretty much it. And once you've got all those So that's pretty much it. Once you have all of those checked and make sure that you're posting to the GL budget, you've got your account groups set up correctly in the report and your date reporting periods, you should be good to go. If you have any questions, feel free to send us a ticket. But otherwise, that is how to troubleshoot your budgets not showing up. Have a great day.